Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Dr. Mommy Budgets and I am Amanda. Today I am here with another video for you guys. I am here to talk to you about your budget and your finances, and do you even realize when you have quote unquote fallen off of the wagon? Or do you know when you are super strict and overly consistent, if that is a thing, with budgeting and finances? Or do you know when you're somewhere in the middle? Just do you know what you need to do when you need to do it as it relates to your finances and budgeting? Now, the only example that I have, well, actually I do have several other examples that I can pull from. I can look out to friends and family and see how they're budgeting and utilizing and dealing with their money, all the way to people who are on YouTube and the strategies or the lack thereof that they use with budgeting and finances and trying to get a handle on all that. I can look at those situations, but what I tend to like to do here on my channel, because it's my channel, I like to dive into my experience and my situations and my process and what I do as it relates to knowing when I have kind of fallen off the bandwagon, or if I'm too strict or tight with my purse, as they call it, or, you know, if I'm somewhere in the middle. Now, to be honest, to be very honest, I don't really fall off the wagon because I tend to keep my finances in order 90 to 100% of the time. So I am very thankful. I do have that mindset and that focus as it relates to finances. But just falling completely off the bandwagon and spending all willy-nilly and not taking care of bills or debts or expenses and all that, you know, no, that has actually never been me. But yeah, so as it relates to that experience, I know that there are people that have that experience and who have been there. In this video today, we're not going to talk about that because I have not had that experience. Now, what I have dealt with is being super strict and consistent with my budget, all the way down to, I guess, kind of like a mid-range. Let's say we were scaling this on a scale of 0 to 10, with 10 being super strict and a super budgeter and just, you know, sticking to the plan that you have created, all the way down to 0, where, like I said, you've just fallen off the bandwagon. You're doing whatever you want with your finances. For me, I tend to go somewhere between 90% down to, I would probably say about 70%. So I'm somewhere in that 7 to 9 percentile or 70% percentile when it comes to me utilizing my money and sticking to my budget and being consistent and that kind of thing. So now I'm going to give you some examples. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because right now, today, or during this time frame where I am in my life right now, I feel that I am closer to my 70% area. And what I mean by that is I am spending more money than I typically will. I am, well, as it relates to paying down debt or, you know, saving money and all that, that's still pretty much on track. But it's the spending of monies, which I guess could be utilized in other areas like paying down debt or saving more. I feel that, yeah, I'm closer to the 70%. And what typically happens to me during that time is I'm going to do some things, be it for someone else, like my children or family members or whomever or friends that I typically don't do throughout the year. Or I'm gonna spend money on items that, like I said, I typically just don't spend on. So right now I am in that kind of phase right now, and it's getting to a point where I get a little uncomfortable. Like I said, it's nothing that's, out of the ordinary where I'm just gonna blow the budget or burst my finances wide open. The strategy and plans that I have been doing is just that, I start to think, okay, girl, you have been spending money here, spending money there. It's time for you to put an end to that and to rope yourself back in to head toward that 90% of budgeting and being consistent with your finances. So right now, yeah, I have been doing some spending, and I have enjoyed the spending that I have been doing. I have been paying for experiences, with me and my significant other and my children. So, I've been doing those things, and I have, enjoyed that. So I was just sitting thinking about that, and I decided to come on and just make the video just to see, if you guys know when you need to speak to yourself, regroup, and say, hey, I need to get back on whatever your goal is you have. Not saying that you've fallen all the way off, but you are not focused as much as you used to be on that goal. And so that's where it's very important for you as an individual, and you're dealing with it from a mental standpoint, because at the end of the day, like I always tell people, the numbers are going to be the numbers. They are not going to lie. One is always going to be one. 1 million is always going to be 1 million. I don't care how you try to finagle it and say, okay, well, maybe that $1,000 could be $2,000 if I look at it sideways. No, that's not the case. Numbers are always going to be numbers. 9 times out of 10, it is your behavior and it's your mental capacity of dealing with finances that gets you off track or that keeps you on track. So you need to figure out, like I always say in my videos, what your goal is, or perhaps your goals with an S, and you need to make sure that you are on track to meet those goals whenever you need to meet those goals, even if you decide to kind of get off of that more strict budget or plan. So for me, I always know what my overall goals are, and I know when I want to be there. So basically, I know how to set up my budget and my finances where I can have that wiggle room, and I can be able to do a little bit more spending or having more experiences, and not actually blow my goals out of the water, or actually stop working toward the goals. So that is very important, guys. That is something you really need to think about. I know us as YouTubers and money people and budgeters and all that kind of stuff, and cash stuffers, or whatever you tend to do with your money, I know, we can get on here and we can talk about our strategies and what we do and how we do it. And look at me. This is how I budget. This is the budget technique I use. This is how I stuff my cash envelopes, just whatever it is. But at the end of the day, you got to make sure that you have the mental capacity to make sure that you are on track with your goals. And the first and foremost, most important thing is to make sure that you set some goals. That's the most important thing. You need to set some goals. You need to have some whys in your life as it relates to what you're doing with your money, how you're handling it. Because if you don't have a why and you're just living every day with just hey, I'm just going to pay the bills, I'm going to eat, and I'm going to have a roof over my head, you will never get to a goal because the goal is not set, nor will you be able to train your mind, the mental part of this equation, to know how to focus on, okay, I need to be able to put this money aside because this goal is coming up next year. So if you're not doing that, you're not able to train your mind. And that's just it at the end of the day, guys. I mean, like I said, we can get on here and we can talk about all this finance stuff, until we're blue in the face. But until you put some of these strategies in place and you train your mind to actually think about that type situation or goal and how you plan to get to it, then it's just anything that's up for grabs. And you do not want your finances to be like that, because hopefully we are all going to get of age where we are not going to want to work any longer, or we may not be able to work. So we need to think about that, guys. We honestly need to think about that as it relates to how we plan to sustain and support ourselves after we're done with the grinding and the entrepreneurship of having all these businesses or this real estate or investing in the stock market, or having this 9-to-5 corporate job, or if you a contractor and you're, you are contracted out to a company, whatever you got going on, there's going to get to a time in your life where you're no longer going to be able to do that or want to do it. So you want to make sure that your finances are in order and you are shooting toward those goals every day. But that's what I wanted to come on here and talk about. But like I said, I am right at the 70% phase as it relates to spending money and having these experiences and things like that. So it's time for me to pull it back in. I got about 1 or 2 more experiences, I guess I will call them, that I am going to have, and then it's going to be where I gear my finances more toward the 90% tile, and I get back into that routine of just focusing on paying down the debt, saving, dealing with the necessities. And that is what I do for the majority of the year. So for me to have these 70% level experiences is perfectly fine for my finances. I'm not worried at all about it. But I have them rarely is what I'm trying to say. It's not very often that I'll do it. Now, when I do it, I do enjoy it. I am not going to lie. I enjoy it and I have fun and it feels good. That's why I know I got to be able, this is the mind, the mental state coming into play to say, that feels really good. I really like that. So I know I need to jump back to my 90% of me focusing on my budget and my finances so that I could have more of those happy experiences. So if I go on and get everything in order now, then, later on in life, I can have more of those experiences. But like I say, here and there, I know, having a routine and just saving money and paying off debt and, just doing your everyday system with your finances can get boring. But you got to make sure that if you do go out and have some fun, or you say yes to some of those goody experiences, that you know how to draw yourself back into the overall goal and plans. So that's all I have for this video for today. Please subscribe to my channel. Like this video, pass it along to those who may be trying to get some sort of motivation and or direction as to what they need to do with their money, how they need to view their finances, whether they need to be super strict or maybe they need to loosen the rope a little bit. Whichever case it may be, maybe there's some information in this video that can help them out with that. So please pass this along to those individuals. This is all I have for this video today. This is Dr. Mommy Budgets, where we dream big but start small around here. I will see you in the next video. Peace.